business.
Optus Business. We're right behind business.
Welcome back. Well, we all know the real future of business is online, and Shane Pettiona is a man who's one of the early web entrepreneurs, having built some 700,000 websites and developing and selling carsales.com for $22 million. His latest venture is Cracka Wines, and he's here, crackawines.com, and he's here to tell us all about it. Hello.
Thank you, Janine.
Let's start with those 700 and the thing. I mean, you know, were you just a nerd that got into it? Lucky? I mean, how did you pick something that the greats like Jerry Harvey and Solomon Lew have not managed to get right, and DJs and all those people?
Look, I was fortunate. I was first in advertising. The web came along. I was lucky to get into it at the right time. I've loved the time in it. I've been involved with some great companies, as you mentioned, as carsales.com. You know, it reported some fantastic figures just recently, again, with 26% revenue growth and 35% profit growth, so it's far from exhausted as a business. And I just wanted to get...
But it has hit my favourite newspapers that keep me, you know, you kept me employed for a long time.
Well, I think it's the new age media, and it's the way everything's transitioning, and same with online wine. It's wine market is changing. Okay,
how do you get the idea to go, oh, better get out, because it was interesting you sold. Now, a lot of people, and I'm not mentioning Groupon, but I wonder why they don't get out. When do you know when to sell and then to start the next one?
Look, at this point in time, no, I think it all comes down to whether you think you've accomplished what you think the business was set out to do. And with Cracka Wines...
Making a lot of money.
Well, you know, money's not always the first and foremost thing that we get into it for. I think it's to, you know, revolutionise an industry, create stimulus, bring some sort of power back to the people. You know, we've got two customers in there at Cracka Wines, one being the wine industry, who we, you know, strongly try and support, and also the consumer retail market. So
now I'm interested in the wine, because we have online wine auctions. We have people doing it. There are other people in the space. What did you think you could offer that was different?
Look, Cracka Wines is a really holistic wine approach in regards to there's information, there's value coming through in regards to obviously the 24/7 convenience, but we have this unique approach where we have a reverse auction type system where the wine starts at a recommended retail price, and as the clock ticks the wine price comes down, and really the control is in the buyer's hands, and they determine when they want to come in and buy.
That's a model used in some areas overseas, isn't it, in some other areas?
Look, it's referred to as a Dutch auction type system. It's never been used for wine before, to my knowledge, that's for sure. And I think we've got two elements to Cracka. It's got two sales channels, one being the sort of seller door to customer, so dealing direct with the winery, where we've got over 2,000 wines for sale, and then the unique selling proposition being the auction site.
I presume each time you come up with an idea like this, it gets harder because more people have got in. Is this going to be another car sales? Are you going to be able to sell it for tens of millions, or is this going to be more of a struggle as people get cotton on?
Well, car sales valued at over $1 billion now, and it's an ASX 200 listed company, so...
Which brings me to the question. As I said, I do criticise people for not selling. But when you sell, are you one of the few men I've ever met that go, well, I made a lot of money, that's fine, or do you go, dash it, if I'd hung on, it would have been worth so much more?
Honestly, I've never got into any business with the focus and the #1 priority being money. It's all about creating an application that can make a difference in the market and can revolutionise an industry, and I think that's what crackawines.com is doing for the wine market, and will. We're experiencing 20% month-on-month growth since the day we launched, so you know, you can't fault figures.
Would you hang on more or still do the same model for selling? Because let's face it, despite you saying it's not about the money, I've worked in Silicon Valley, I know it's all about the deal and moving on and finding a buyer.
No, look, for me, I'm an entrepreneur, so it gets to a point where a company gets to a size that probably I'm not the best person to be driving that company, and I really come up with new strategies and partner with some great people. Dean Taylor, CEO of Cracka Wines, is a great friend of mine and was a business associate for a long time, and we sat around a table over glasses of wine and formulated a strategy that could make a difference.
Too early to say what the next big thing for you is going to be while you're still on this one, or are you always thinking up once, or in this space at the moment?
I think the focus at the moment is Cracka Wines. Got to do one thing right and do it successful, and at the moment that's the focus.
Gee, I wish a lot of small business would listen to some of your words of advice there. Now let's get to the broader picture. I did have a go at Harvey Norman, love Jerry Harvey. DJ's Maya, they haven't handled this well. We're going to have retail figures this week. There'll be more wringing of hands over online. Where did they go wrong?
Look, I think if you actually look at all the successful online sites, even in Australia, they're pure play.coms. And it's very...
What's that in English?
Well,
for non-tech people?
It means that they don't have bricks and mortar businesses that they need to support.
No, I get that bit.
And I think the difference is with your traditional retailers is, you know, they've spent a lot of money in their bricks and mortar businesses, and they're good at what they did in that fashion.
But they haven't moved with the times, basically.
Well, they haven't moved with the times, and in a sense they're playing with one arm tied behind their back. Whereas
in what sense?
Well, because their asset value and their focus has been to bring you in store. Online's not about bringing you in store in a bricks and mortar business. It's about putting you online and being able to communicate with your customers 24/7.
Does that explain their appalling websites? I went to the DJ's one. It's just useless. If you compare that to, say, an American Saks Fifth Avenue or something, I mean, they have videos, the clothes come out, the models move. It's an enjoyable experience. They're not threatened.
I think that their objective is to get you in store, whereas an online objective is to keep you sticky with the site, communicate with you well, give you a holistic approach and satisfy the consumer, and that's the most important thing.
As their profits are plummeting and they're blaming the customers, do you think they get it yet?
Well, you know, in our space in the wines, there's two big retailers that control the bulk of the market. I think we're here and we'll make a difference and we'll make them accountable, and Cracka Wines...
Just quickly, we're running out of time.
Sure.
This week, Heinz attacked the dominance of those two retail chains. How hard is it for you, and do you think they've got too much dominance?
Well, look, I think for us, well, first of all, I think competition's healthy, so I welcome competition and always have. I think we'll beat them at the game of being online, and that's where we focus. We're not building bricks and mortar businesses, and we're giving the industry, being the wineries, an alternative channel, and I think that's really important. We're bringing power back to the people.
Heinz should listen to you. No whinging, no blaming someone else. Just get on with it. Shane, thank you very much for talking to us tonight. Good night. Good luck with crackawines.com.
Thank you, Janine.
That's all we have time for tonight, but I'll be back tomorrow night with our Thursday night panel, which is always fiery and full of controversy. You know what's actually happening in the world of business, so don't miss it. See you then.